Time now is 6:41. Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones joining us now live for our weekly segment, Mondays with the Mayor. Thanks for being here.
Hi, good morning. And welcome back, Barry. I didn't know if I was going to see you again.
It feels like I haven't seen you in quite a while. It has been a while, to tell you the truth, you know. We're seeing what's going on in Minnesota, the protests all around the country. Now, what are we doing here? Eventually, that issue may or may not show up here. We have a large population of illegal immigrants here. I mean, it's
undocumented,
no
undocumented folks, right? We've got 100,000 undocumented folks in our community. And you're right, they're our neighbors. They're at our churches, they're in our schools. You probably will run into one today when you order a coffee or you go have lunch. So first and foremost, it's a large number, you're right. We don't know what will happen. I continue to ask questions, though, to the federal authorities to ensure we have that information so we can balance public trust and public safety, right? We need both of those things, and that starts with ensuring that people trust who's shown up in their door, and frankly, also people being treated with respect as they also exercise their First Amendment rights, which I am thankful, so thankful. We've had a couple of protests in the community, and San Antonio knows how to do this right. I'm thankful we haven't had any incidents as people, again, express their, frankly, right frustration with what's going on, and they've done so peacefully. So my thanks to the people of San Antonio for that.
So we know, though, that on January 22nd, City Council will come together to talk about, how SAPD operates and coordinates with state and federal authorities. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that meeting is going to be?
Yeah, so I asked for that meeting because I think it's important we have a public discussion about, just so everyone lays flat what we are doing. I think it's really important for the public to understand the different constraints that we have here in Texas, because we are in Texas and we are governed by state laws that are not in Minnesota. They're not in California. They're not in Maryland, right? I think we also just recognize there are potentially different consequences for our community. So we wanted to have a public conversation, allow people also to be heard. So there will be public comment at that session. People can sign up and again exercise their First Amendment rights.
All right, we were talking just before you came on, the rainbow crosswalks is going to be removed today. There's a lawsuit.
They'll start today, yeah.
Yeah, to try to stop that. At what point do we just move on? Take it out, let's move on, whatever we're going to do. The state wants it gone.
Well, let me say, look, I can empathize with folks that worked for a very long time, not only to raise the money and to work with the community to say, hey, we'd like, and that was, again, publicly funded. Right, that was private money that built those crosswalks, that painted the crosswalks rather. So again, I know there's a lot of emotion around those things. I think it's important, though, when we look at the moment in time that we're in, that we're also cognizant of ways in which we can show additional support to my LGBTQ community. So I look forward to additional recommendations, and I've asked the LGBTQ Advisory Committee for additional ways, right, in which we can work together to uplift and support our community so everybody feels safe and feels seen. I do think that there are bigger fish to fry. One of those bigger fish to fry, for example, is voting. Right. Unfortunately, I heard just last week, we continue to have a 4,000 application backlog for voter registration applications at the county level. And we've frankly reached out and tried to figure out what's going on here, right? That registration deadline is February 2nd. So we always see a surge in applications between now and the deadline. So I want to make sure that folks get their application processed so they can vote in that March 3rd primary.
But I thought they had said they had hired a bunch more registrars or clerks anyway, and they were caught up with this.
That's not the case. There's still a backlog that we need to address so people can ensure that they are heard on March 3rd.
Hey, and just recently, just this weekend, you actually hosted the ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands here in the U.S. How was that visit, and what did y'all discuss?
Well, I'm very thankful that we were able to host the ambassador. I mean, frankly, we've got lots of consulate offices in Houston, and so it was a rare opportunity for us to host the ambassador. I think folks may not be super familiar with the Netherlands, but they are important agriculturally, and in terms of exports, they've got a strong cyber AI industry, and so they're quite important to our national security. In fact, the head of NATO now is the head of NATO now is the former prime minister from the Netherlands. So it was funny. I was saying the last time I was in the Netherlands when I was there for the Warrior Games, and unfortunately, it was when I stood side by side many of those Ukrainian soldiers that had just come from the battlefield to participate in those games. As a result of that, I was put on a persona non grata list by Russia. But you know what? I'll be a-okay. I'll be okay. But
you weren't going to Russia anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as you've heard me say, though, I think you're damn right. You've heard me say the importance of our international partnerships and relationships. Again, Netherlands key economically, as they also look to ensure that we are. Let me just say, we spent quite a bit of time, I think, also just talking about the values that unite us when we think about the security alliance, but also the importance of democracies. And so I personally think it's important that large cities like ours, especially ours that have a large military presence, continue to demonstrate at the local level the ways in which we uphold those with our partners all across the world.
Speaking of large things, we have the big march, the
Dream Week.
MLK March. You kicked off Dream Week Friday, so it's a huge event that brings a lot of people together here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dream Week is now really Dream Month, right? And I told them, I was like, well, I kind of like that it's Dream Month. You know why? Because dreaming is not for the weak.
Yeah.
Right? It's really an act of courage and an act of resistance, which I think is important. Most importantly, I really appreciate the work that SHOW has done. And again, it's like 200 events all across the city. So I really encourage folks to go and find something you don't know anything about, right? And go engage with folks, because at the end of the day, it is civil discourse that will help ensure that we move forward together, right? And help, what assumptions are they making? What assumptions might we be making, right, on some of these topics that can be so divisive? And that's why I'm thankful for that organizations continue to work. I'm really thankful, though, for a city like ours that hosts something so welcoming and so inclusive as we try to move forward.
Well, and in our city, it's civil unity with that march.
Well, yeah, the march coming
together.
up, yeah, I mean,
Right.
the largest one here, the largest one in the country, rather.
Right.
So I look forward to it. Look forward to it every year.
Will we see you there this year?
See you. Yes, absolutely,
Awesome.
of course.
Well, Mayor, thank you so
Hey,
much for
thanks.
being here. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Monday.
Thank you.
Right now, we're going to toss it over to Jeremy.
Well,